have to see this house. And what she told me when she was describing out, she's like, they're amazing people, you're gonna love them, but they have a chapel in their house.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I think YouTube will that sounds like a good title.
Yeah.
House with chapels. Hey guys, it's Shelby and Michelle with Farmhouse Living, and welcome back to our channel. It is another home tour, and y'all, I mean,
we say this a lot, but we really don't even know how we're going to get it all in. This is the most stunning, over-the-top, beautiful home, but the homeowners,
well, we became best friends.
We became best friends.
We are gonna come to their Thanksgivings and their Christmases.
all of it.
So it's Karen and Ken, and they are clients of Lauren Tanner, who was, what did we call that? The
European Cottage.
European Cottage. She's a subscriber, y'all. She watches the videos.
Push the button, subscribe.
Yes. And so she has, it's crazy because I see Lauren's style in this, but it's totally, I mean, as I've been walking around, I was like, y'all, this was y'all's story in this home. Mm-hmm. And this was a renovation. This wasn't a new build.
Correct.
So tell us about that process and what drew you to the home.
So our daughter has type 1 diabetes and her school is 4 miles from here. And we moved back to Texas in August of 2021. There was nothing for sale on the market. I drew a circle because I wanted to be within a few miles of school, and nothing came for sale. This was the 8th house we put an offer in on. And quite honestly, we got accepted before we ever saw the house. Wow. But we came in 2 days later and fell in love. We feel so blessed.
Well, and when you see the befores, you'll wonder how they fell in love, but you had vision, and then Lauren came in and just really brought everything to life.
So when y'all found it, y'all knew y'all were gonna renovate.
Well, we'd seen a bunch of houses in the area, and they were all about 20 years old, and we'd seen that they were the darker. So I had found Lauren because there were 2 houses in a neighborhood not too far from here. One had been renovated and one hadn't. The one that was renovated, my realtor just sent me a photo because to show me what had sold. And for a comparison. And I said, who remodeled that house? I absolutely need to know who remodeled this house because it's beautiful and exactly how I would do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I actually tracked her down.
Well, she's amazing, and I was glad that she was like, you have to see this house. And what she told me when she was describing out, she's like, they're amazing people, you're gonna love them, but they have a chapel in their house. Yeah. And I was like, well, I think YouTube will that sounds like a good title. Yeah. House with chapel. So tell us about your design process for that room, and was it her idea or you knew you wanted a chapel in your home?
You just go in there and it looks like a chapel. It's, you can't walk in and be anything other than, this is a chapel. It wasn't transformed. It wasn't anything else. It's always been a chapel. It's just, now we put chairs in there and made it so it was nice to sit in and enjoy as a chapel instead of what was probably intended as an office.
Yeah. Well, I agree. When you showed me before, it definitely had a chapel-y vibe, but this is next level chapel. This is beautiful, and definitely I feel like a place I would just serene and peaceful and do you spend a lot of time in there?
I spend a ton of time in there. That's my space. When we came in, I walked in there and I said, oh my gosh, it has a chapel, it has a training room. We can put 2 offices in this house. It was everything. We had an office in our last business and we would drive to it. And so the idea of working from home full time and having a place where you could live and play and entertain was our ideal. Mm-hmm. And so to see that it had a chapel, and then we got ordained.
Oh, wow. Well, if you've got a chapel.
Yes.
You need an ordination. Also, what I love about it is it was your blend of idea to do the blue, and Lauren gave you options, and this was your idea to come this beautiful,
it's so good,
cozy blue.
What is that paint color? Do you know?
The blue.
That's a Lauren question.
Okay, we will text Lauren and we will pop it up on the screen. But people are gonna want to know.
Yeah, it's
to be able
a
to reference.
great color.
Another thing that's really cool about that room is y'all were showing me the befores. The stairs were always the spiral, but the end was not. So, I mean, did y'all believe those stairs could be transformed that way? Whose idea was that?
It was a combination of me and Carlton, because the goal from the beginning was that platform was just awkward. It took up like a quarter of the room.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
No.
So upstairs at the top of the stairs we use it as her office. Previous owners had used it as a gym. But it's like, okay, how do we access up there? And we were brainstorming all different ideas on how to get stairs up there. Yeah. And I believe it was Carlton, who's Lauren's husband. He's the contractor. And he's like, I have a guy that can come in, and they literally took what was the spiral stairs from 3 feet and up, and just left those in place and just added 3 feet to the ground. Wow. And you look at it now and it's like you would never know that was an addition.
No. Yeah, and that's what I love about this home. There's so many tweaks like that y'all made updates without changing the structure necessarily of the space entirely.
When y'all showed me before, I'm like, wow, you didn't add or really even take away. You just embellished in so many ways and painted and just kind of modified things to make it modern and beautiful and put together. So it was a home with good bones.
It was a home with good bones. But the room actually isn't very big square footage wise. So those stairs took up quite a bit of space. And so when those came out, it turned into the most cozy place. I love, we have our friends over every month for dinner, and we'll make our drinks. I have a tea bar and a coffee bar, and we go in and we just talk. And so it's one of those places, because a lot of times you end up around the kitchen table, but this gives you a space where you actually can go in and sit. And I have a lot of friends that'll call me, they'll come over, we'll pray together. We have a lot of communion cups in there. And so my thing is if you need prayer, this is where you want to come, because it's just a beautiful dwelling place. It's so serene.
Yes.
And Lauren is going to take your shofars from Israel and put them up that stairwell. She's going to mount them. Yes. And so it's the chapel of all chapels.
Thank you. I love it. I know you're going to go home and look for a place where you can put it. It came with a chapel, Mom. Okay. You can't add it. Okay. We also have another office over here. Tell us about the design of this space. Do you know this paint color? This is a good paint color too.
That's Hail Navy.
Hail Navy. Good. Okay. Was that an office prior to?
That was the dining room.
Wow.
So for such a big house, it's kind of a smaller dining room.
Yeah.
But that was the formal dining room, and it's kind of shaped like you think home plate. Yeah. This odd shape. So it was like, okay, we both are starting new businesses, and it's like, how do you work from home? So that was going to be my office. That was going to be her office, and then she gets upstairs as well. Yeah. And then Lauren, Lauren was like, how do we showcase some of your old Navy stuff? Because I used to be in the Navy. I flew in F-14. Life was fun. Yes, it was awesome. And I had all my memorabilia, but I've never put it up on the walls. Yeah. So Lauren's like, oh, we have to put this up on the wall. We have to put that up on the wall. Can we frame this? So I had 1 or 2 paintings and some other things that I've drug around for. I left active duty in 2005, so 18 years I've been dragging stuff around, including my tail hook.
But you have definitely got a space that says man cave, it's for the man.
Sophisticated and well designed. So definitely, sometimes I feel like man cave gets a bad rap. It's a garage with beer cans.
I was gonna say with one of the beer openers as like a
neon
funny
signs. Yeah.
No, it's sophisticated. It's beautiful, well designed. I can tell you hired a good designer.
That's the beauty of Lauren. She kept saying, I want to make this masculine. I want it to tie with the house, but I really want it to be a place where Ken's going to feel comfortable.
So when you come into the entry of the home, you can see both of these spaces. They're stunning. And even when that door is shut, you can see straight in, because they just used a solid clear sheet of glass for that door.
Yeah, it's nice, because when I sit in there, I don't lose any of my visibility. I can watch the front door, see people come and go. And I feel like I'm part of everything, but at the same time, if you're on a call or something, you can knock down the noise a little bit.
Yeah.
So and Lauren, if left to my own devices, I would have been in there and been like, okay, these things need to be at the same level, and I need to put a little something on every wall. And she helps me be a minimalist. And in certain sections, it's like, isn't that crowded? And she's like, no, it's not crowded. And it's like, shouldn't we put something over here? No, we don't need anything over there. And when it's done, it's just like,
wow.
I get it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm happy because the tail hook that's in there and some of the other things he's had, like 18 years.
I bet I would actually love to know in the comments, what have you moved to multiple houses and it stays in boxes? Like, and how many houses has it moved? I feel like that would be an interesting.
And does it weigh 80 pounds?
That's so good. So we're sandwiched in between two beautiful, a chapel office, and then you see your staircase and this living room.
Wow.
Y'all, the ceilings, the beams, the light, the millwork, the fireplace. I mean, when y'all walked in, there was already the fireplace. Did y'all know this was going to be amazing, or needed the designer to sweep in and convince you?
For me, I needed the designer. It was dark, like she said, and I would have tried to keep all of the wood the original way. So like painting it would not have occurred to me because I just had never really.
Sacrilege.
Yeah, wasn't
Honestly,
scary.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. But when I saw the color and I saw what it did, the elegance and the peace that it brought to the house. Almost everyone who walks in here says, wow, it's just it's a big home, but the spaces feel very tranquil and serene, and you can really rest here. And that's kind of been a theme for us because Ken's got the gift of hospitality. So he loves to cook big meals for everyone. And so having a place where people can come in, that's a nice home, but you don't have to take your shoes off.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lived-in house, and that's what we wanted. And so to have that peace, but also lived in, welcoming, but also elegant, like that's a tall order to get all of that.
Well, let's talk about the balcony. So that balcony is not the only balcony that was in the room. There was one over the fireplace that was in your office, and then one there. So you removed one, kept one. Talk about that process in general.
That space up there, it's kind of like an extra room. Like I said, some previous owners had it as a workout room.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do you have access to downstairs where noises come in and out? What am I going to look at? And it just made sense to close off that space and, to shut everything up and make that more of a very secluded private room.
Yes.
Where the downstairs noise is not interrupting, especially as an upstairs office / video studio.
Sure.
And then why do you need to look down? So the Juliet balcony that's here, we call that the Romeo balcony and the Juliet balcony. You could talk to each other across. That still has the all the fun potential of the prom or all those other type of things to stand up there. You don't need a second one.
No. And the good news too is that it gave you this opportunity to do this amazing millwork.
Yeah.
And I think that millwork makes this overstated, amazing cast stone fireplace updated and glamorous and gorgeous. And I said, do they burn a fire in there? Because I want to see that. It is stunning, y'all.
Thank you. Yeah, that was Lauren's vision about keeping that, but just tying it. She can take what's here and then modernize it, but also prepare it for the next season. That was the other thing that as a decorator, she really has an eye for what's going to stay and how we can move into the next season as seasons come and go. And I'm so grateful for that. Like she knew, which things to keep and which things that would go. And she would talk to us about it, take time to explain it to us and really get us excited about it. And then as her vision came together, she can look at a space and see it. And that's a true gift. I said, designing isn't what she does, it's who she is.
And we do say that there was so much heavy Tuscan in that day, and there is a way to modernize it and not lose all the character of that time, but just bring it up to date. And she did it perfectly.
And I think that step, when you embrace it instead of strip it all back, it stays timeless. It's just you can't do everything around it, and that's what she did well, is just soften, and which is what she did in the. Did you see the before of that Juliet balcony? It had trim work all over it, wood, it was heavy. Just taking that down and painting allows it to be.
And she changed out the railing. That was one of the last things that we did. We had kept the old railing, which was much more ornate. And she said, I really believe that it would be a wonderful investment for you all to change this. So we changed it here and on the back stairs by the kitchen as well. And she was absolutely 1,000%. I'm so grateful that we really were letting her take the lead on everything and just going, okay.
Well, there's a lot of other things, reasons I would personally buy this house if y'all ever sell it. It's the kitchen, it's a wine room, and a dog wash. So I feel like we need to go that way. So we talked about Ken having the gift of hospitality. What are you gonna cook for me on that magnificent range? I mean, that is glorious.
It is fun. And it's blue.
Did you choose that?
Nope, that was a Lauren idea, and it kind of became the anchor for most of the colors and everything else. She's like, I have this amazing Ilve, never heard of it before, Italian blue stove that has all this gold on it, and it's gonna look amazing. And it's like, okay, the thing I will reference a lot is the I believe button. Yeah. When you just I'm gonna hit that button that just says okay, let's do it. Just every now and then it was like.
Well, she's talking about the stove, and she's telling us, that she has the blue one and she hasn't had a chance to do it yet, and she was dying to do it, and so use it and in a home. And my daughter and I looked at it and we're like, this is so pretty.
Yeah.
And then my husband, who's an engineer by trade, he was like, how does it work? And we're like, it's so pretty. We don't even care.
And then you have used the same blue
in the island.
On the island, not the same blue, but just a very complementary dark blue on the island, and then some really sweet pattern tile on the backsplash. So there's just this blue theme throughout, and I love it.
Well, I want to know, does it work?
Yes.
It does work.
Yes, it works great.
Okay.
I love this kitchen because it's functional. And this kitchen is. At first, we were afraid it was too big. Oh, really? Believe it or not, specifically the space between the island and the other countertops. It's like, you walk through and it's like, there's like 4 feet in this narrow spot. And over there, it's like 8 or 10 feet. Yeah. This is kind of roomy. Yeah. And we've really grown into roomy of, you have events here and everybody just circulates around. There's no choke points. There's no, I'm in your way, you're in my way. It's very comfortable, and it's made the island the center of the space.
Yeah. Well, so when Lauren sent me a photo of this kitchen, I saw the range and that prep sink. Yep. But I did not know the island was this shape. Was it this shape in the before?
No.
No. It was much smaller. It started here, but it was narrow, and it was a 2-tier. And then there was the separate triangle island in the middle, and that's how we ended up with so much space in there. We were very lucky when we moved it out that the hardwood floor was already there, and so that was helpful.
Wow!
But it was not, and we love the gift of hospitality for him for cooking, but we love to have people over, like. Just having to be able to rest and have food and to just talk about what's going on with the week, and we have a fire pit outside. We have the chapel for prayer. Right now, the pool I think is like over 90 degrees. So there's just so many places to rest here. Yeah. But the kitchen, this is where the heart of the entertainment is. And so we've always loved having a big island. Once we had one in a home in San Diego, we knew we wanted this. And then our daughter loves looking at real estate, and she had been wanting a blue island for a long time. Wow. Yeah, she'll be 17 next month, and so she loves helping pick out homes and colors and really enjoys that process. And so when we got we decided on the stove, we were so excited that you were okay with the blue stove, because that's kind of a big, I believe, that is a big I believe button.
Kind of bold.
Yeah, it is bold. And then to do the island too, like, okay, we don't want to go too trendy, because how long will that be in style? And in Texas, there's a lot of buildings, so you always have to think when you go to sell, you're going to be not competing, but the house is going to be compared to new construction.
Sure. I mean, but would you sell?
You know what? We thought we weren't going to leave Puerto Rico, and so here we are.
But tell them your motto on moving.
Oh yeah, you don't.
You know her
leave.
motto on moving?
I told you we've become best friends.
Yes, we did.
Okay, I want to know the motto. Sorry.
Anybody who knows me is gonna know. Like, yeah. So the way I feel about moving is you don't leave where you are until you see a place that you'd rather be. And that's when you know that it's time to move. And whether that's moving, for us, it'll probably be moving near our grandkids if they don't, for our daughter, when our daughter gets married and has children, that'll be like that's what we foresee as the next stage of our life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Lauren kept this angled wall because behind it there is a wine cellar.
Yes.
And so
I call it the tornado shelter.
y'all, I was gonna say y'all aren't wine drinkers, but it's
Not anymore.
beautiful. I mean, just still keeping the display and the setup, just because there's like an ambiance in there. You're like, what is the secret? I mean, you can call it a tornado shelter. I think I'd read a book in there. We've got to talk about the pantry door.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't going to the dog wash. But
There's too much
to
good
see.
in the house,
Okay.
guys.
you go, girl.
This could be like a 5-hour tour, but
Right.
we're trying
Trying to be pithy. Go ahead.
So that door was original and it was just refinished.
Yes.
Did you have hope for the door, or you?
This was a Lauren. She saw something that was done, and she's like, I want to do that. I want to bleach the door. And Carlton, her husband, the contractor, he's just like, okay. So they bleached, they sanded, they bleached, they sanded, and it went from your Tuscan brown to this, beautiful door that, if you had told me we're going to make the pantry door one of the focal points of your kitchen, it'd be like, why?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Isn't
a
that
thing.
supposed to disappear?
Yes.
It's a pantry.
Yeah.
But again, the way that she did it and where I was going
oh,
is
sorry.
no, that's fine. Is that she tied it together. They have a great source for reclaimed lumber and wood. And so
Yes.
she tied this old Tuscan door that she stripped with this amazing wood in the dining space, which is
Yeah.
also the gathering.
I love this
Place.
space. Yeah, one of the things, because we know we don't use a formal living or formal dining room. And because we wanted that for the office, it was like, how do you separate the space? So we've always loved that book, The Not So Big House, like the concept of having rooms be very intimate, even though it's a bigger home. And so this is a pre-Civil War beam. We're, like this old beam, and it's stunning. I love it. I sit here in the morning and I look at it and I see how it divides the space and creates an atmosphere. And I'm in awe of it. I'm in awe of the talent that people have.
Yeah.
Now you did structurally change and make this bump out, right? Or was this here, the bay window?
The whole footprint is the exact same
So
as
the
it
bay
was.
window was here. So that's this view of your yard and your pool.
They changed it because there was it looks so different. There was
Okay.
an arch.
I see.
Or a
Yeah, the befores and
eyebrow.
afters, y'all, are just unbelievable.
Yeah, back to the pantry door. You won't even notice the pantry door in the before photos. You
Right.
can't even see it. And then here, when you see it, it's like, wait, people are like, was that door there? and so, yeah, these arches, everything had eyebrows and came down. So she lifted them up and then got rid of those big paneled eyebrow, the archways. And she left some in the house and they look beautiful. But these ones she took out because it doesn't distract the eye. So she's really good about, in the space, not having your eye get hung up on anything.
Yeah. Having a focal point.
Liking the open floor plan house. 20 years ago, houses weren't as open floor plan. 50
Yeah.
years ago, definitely not. So this, these openings aren't any wider. But just lifting that up a tiny bit made it so that, and moving the island a little bit more towards the center made it so that it very much feels like an open floor plan house. And you don't notice, even though we have these really high ceilings, it still has that intimacy, which, like Karen was saying, it defines the space. So people don't have that uncomfortable feeling of I'm in a movie theater with 6 people, where it's just like, this is just weird. You feel better, and it's like people are perfectly happy in these spaces because of how they're defined.
Absolutely.
The dogs are coming
So,
in because they want us to talk
They
about
want
their
to talk
dog
about
wash.
their dog wash. It was like perfect timing, like right on cue.
Okay, Do y'all wash your dogs in the dog wash?
Yes. Yeah, I'm
Oh.
trying to get into a routine where after I take them on Friday morning, I take them and throw them in there. And so one of the things we did was we had it lifted up. We went to the tile store and I saw that the dog washes there were raised a bit. And so that was really helpful for me. I was like, oh, we need to raise it because it was there, but it was all the way to the ground.
Okay, are we still talking about the dining, or should we talk
Well,
about
the one thing I did want to mention before we move on, as you're looking through these rooms, is to really take notice of the lighting, the scale of the lighting, and the placement of the lighting. And she did a great job on that. I think the juxtaposition of this gold with the reclaimed wood and your
and mixing metals. So
Mixing
you don't
metals
have gold
here.
everywhere.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
just
an open concept. Were y'all concerned about that, or you didn't have any strong opinions about it?
About so 20 years ago, we had a house that we took all the brass out of. And then now to be putting it back in, we're like, oh, times have changed. Like we've hit that age where we've seen the trend come back around. But what she did is she did a mix of polished and shiny, and same thing with the chrome. And that was brilliant. Like it just really tied everything together, and every space I just really enjoy walking through the home. And you know, the thing is like, remodels can be very overwhelming because there's so many decisions that can be made. And that was the piece where I can start feeling overwhelmed because it's so out of my gifting.
Well, and you're leaning in. This house had a lot of ornate details. This was not a simple house. What did Lauren got? It was a Tudor. She was
something Tudor.
Modern Tudor.
Modern Tudor. So she's bringing it up to date, which like the modern cottage, like that is the style right now. So we're embracing these ornate details, but you can overdo it, and then you're in Tuscan land, you know? It's so...
I think it's timeless what's happened here. And I think she did an amazing job.
Balance is perfect for me because I like the ornateness, but at the same time, making it all very similar color, it's like, okay, it's not loud.
Right.
Serene.
And then the little details like the reclaimed shelves and stuff like that, she put them here and there, and I was like, well, can't we put it there, you know, because they look amazing. And she's like, no, just a couple.
Just a couple.
And you get done and you're just like, yeah, if we put them all the places I wanted to put them, now you wouldn't see them anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
So
just like this wall, you'll see it. She put it in our master bedroom, and she put it in a small piece around my bathtub in the master bath. And so just adding pieces of it, not every wall, just small little spaces. The house ties together very well.
Very well.
That's what impressed me so much when we first came through.
Yeah.
I have not been to the master.
Well,
I'm going to be surprised.
okay, well, there's two small spaces I just want to mention real quick, and then we're going to go, because I know you're itching now to get over there. But you have a guest room over here that's very cute. I love that. But you also have a pool bath, and you were talking about the reclaimed wood and those elements, and it's the cutest little, I mean, almost like a mudroom setup. I love that bench built in and the shiplap. So, and I love that y'all have these vertical shiplap moments throughout the house. You were talking about being cohesive.
Yeah.
She's done things and repeated them, but not one thing is overdone. It's perfectly placed. Okay, are you okay? Can we go to the master?
I can go.
This is a dream, this room. Do you feel like your retreat, you're like on vacation all the time?
the whole house does that. So
Yes. But this, I mean, so peaceful. And you bring in those elements from the living room on this back wall. It's just simple but stunning.
Mm-hmm. Simple and sophisticated. And one of the things that I asked, which I find amazing and fascinating, is that all of these windows are original to the house, and you guys just updated them with.
Yeah. They do a glaze. Yeah, they did a glaze, and I love the glaze that they do. And the window treatments. So Lauren had somebody come in and she walked room by room. All the different rooms have different colors, and what they do is they go up and down. So you can take them to the top and get the light up. So if you've noticed, like the house has so much light, so even the front door has the light. I love natural light. I don't like artificial light, hurts my eyes after a while. I'm very sensitive to it. So since we lived in San Diego, we always had houses that had these big windows. And once I lived in a home with so much natural light, I can't go back. We never have to move these. So we can move them, but we never do. Like we sleep with them like this. So when it gets dark, you feel like you want to go to bed. Then when the light comes up, you're out of bed, no matter what time that is. And I love that. And even in the bathroom, one of the windows in there, I keep the light down so there's a lot of natural light in there. And
great.
It's beautiful. I love it.
That's awesome. Well, you have a little, or it's a dry bar, is what.
Yeah.
But y'all just use it for miscellaneous things, really. But it would be a great coffee bar if you didn't want to walk.
So yeah, I mean, this whole space doesn't disappoint. This cozy little sitting nook. Love it. And then you go into this bathroom and it's like the Four Seasons or something. It's stunning. It's so serene and peaceful and just sophisticated, and I love it.
Well, before we talk about the beautifulness of the bathroom, before Mom didn't come back here, but Ken was showing me and Sydney describing the befores. So we'll pop those up, but that wasn't the entrance to the bathroom, right?
This was the one, we moved almost no walls or anything. It was mostly just finish work that we did. But in this place, the entrance was in a different spot. It was a wide open archway.
But the bathroom turned out stunning. But y'all put a vanity where the old entrance was, marble countertops, and clearly the shower and the bathtub in new spaces as well.
It kind of the same space, but just so redone, because there used to be these big curved walls. You had to like walk in and then go around and then go around to get into the shower, at which point, you were in a cave.
Yeah.
The bathtub was on a raised platform behind some walls that made it so that very little light came through.
Yeah.
So, and the ceiling was lower, so it really opened up the space and just made it so it feels luxurious and spacious.
Spa-like.
Spa-like.
Uh-huh.
It's good.
Yeah.
Y'all, and in collaboration with Lauren and Carlton, did an amazing job. I see those reclaimed wood shelves right there that are wonderful and cute. Just those little touches that made it dreamy. And you love love talking about bathrooms because you just.
I love a primary bathroom, but I love all the bathrooms in this house. I mean, there's a little powder bath off of the hall here that I said, we've got to get a shot of that because it's just so amazing. Yeah. So yeah, all the bathrooms in this house are something to see. Yeah. And then the closet, we're not going to necessarily go in there.
Show them just the function. They have a dog
very
door
functional
to a run that you can get. That they can, enjoy the sunlight.
Yeah, there's just a lot of function in their space. Just like with the kitchen, there's so much function. Thought for detail to this room and the bath and the closet. So
yeah. Okay, well, I wanted to talk about the upstairs in here, but I think we need to. So there's a room that Lauren told us not to share because it's not finished, but I can't stop thinking about it. So I think we finish the tour up there and talk about your whole upstairs.
Oh, perfect.
This room is so fun.
So what were y'all envisioning this room? What was it before?
They
pool
had
table
pool
room.
table.
It was just like
the
a
pool
game
table
room.
came with the house.
Oh, okay.
Because it's probably a pain to move out, but it's also fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Well, one of the things I always like to think about is leaving things better than the way you found them. So we turned the half bath in here into a full bath and added that beautiful shower.
Oh, yes.
And so as downstairs, we made the pool bathroom. We moved a toilet area into that guest bedroom to make them each their own individual. So those types of things, I think, really help with the functionality of the house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so for this room, we added that. So at some point, this could always be like a studio. There's the little sink out there in the living room. Mm-hmm. But what it does is it opens up the options for the home. Mm-hmm. But I really see it as with the having the chapel downstairs, either doing a home church at some point, but we do I really help women build businesses. So what I imagine is getting business owners in this area and bringing them here and having big meals in the kitchen and then coming up here to do trainings.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love it. And I love the beams. I love the function, but I also love the look.
The aesthetic, yeah.
And this door, was this original?
Yes. Bleach.
Same bleach.
Guys, just bleach.
Just bleach your doors.
It's good.
Yeah.
But that goes outside.
Yes.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Crazy. So it would have its own access if it ever needed to be that type of
Well, our daughter actually uses it now because her friends will come over and they'll play pool. And as the kids have to leave, instead of going downstairs, they don't feel like they want to bug us or if we're down there, they'll just head out this way.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I needed a secret entrance as a teenager.
I didn't give Shelby a secret.
Yeah.
Like, bad idea when there's a 17-year-old.
No,
it's
she's
good.
a good girl. It's fine. So y'all have many rooms up here, but you do have another guest room. And what did you call that? When
The
you
masculine room. So she has one feminine for
Yes.
her daughter, and then she's like, I want one that's a little more masculine.
Yes, it's so good. I love the details. Very clean. And then you literally have like a kitchenette and a living room.
Yes.
But you could live here. You don't have to use the secret exit. You could just stay.
And then there's a movie room.
Yeah.
And Lauren says there's some spaces that aren't quite finished yet. We think they're all stunning.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
The one thing that we didn't talk about with the house that surprised me was the outside, because we
Yes.
painted the entire house outside.
Yeah.
We painted the brick.
Yes.
We painted the flagstone, which my wife calls giraffe, because it looked like giraffe. It was orange and brown and light yellow. So it's an accurate description.
Yeah.
And that was something that was another I believe button.
Yeah.
And now that, when it first was painted, it was sort of like oh gosh, that's a lot of white. Now that it's, call it aging.
Yeah.
And some of the little cracks and little indents are filling with a little bit of dust and other stuff. It's getting texture and it's softening, and it really
getting better with time.
When I drive around and look at it's like, okay, that helped the house immensely as well.
Yeah.
Because it took it from that. This looks like a house that was built 20 years ago, and I expect the inside to look like it's a Tuscan house. Now, when you look at it and you come inside, people are just like, did you guys just build this? It's like, no, this is a 20-year-old house.
Yeah. And we loved it when we drove up. The curb appeal is
We were like,
stunning. But we also hear that you guys do a really amazing Christmas. So we are coming back. We're going to show you the outside. We're going to show you the
Did
inside.
they say yes?
No, but
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
It's beautiful at Christmas.
Okay.
Christmas is my favorite time of year.
Okay. Well, Christmas is the favorite home tour season. So it'll be great.
So we're excited to show more next time. We've loved meeting your whole family. We've loved touring your home and meeting y'all, and you're incredible people, and we're just so better for meeting and knowing you now.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, you do help
Women build
women
business.
build
Yeah,
business.
so we finally have gotten settled here, and so now I'm looking at health and wellness industries and innovative products there, but finding products or services to help women step into their own business. So first you fill that income gap, then you replace your income, and then you create wealth. And so that's what we did in San Diego with our own business, and now that's what I want to do to help families. The cost of living has just gone up so much. Homes are expensive. So how do you create that for your family and find that freedom? So you all are business owners here.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy endeavor. And so that encouragement and systems and processes are the things that I think really just make a difference. I think we can really accelerate each other in our businesses by sharing our best practices and what we've leird.
So how do people connect with you?
You can just connect with me right now. I just have my email and my cell phone number, and so just email me, and I'll have you put the email up.
Yeah.
Email me and tell me that you're interested, and I'll let you know what I'm up to and see how you want to participate, because I think it's the next wave. Just getting everyone out in the marketplace and looking for new endeavors. So I'm very excited about it.
Yay.
Any final things that y'all want to share?
Oh, thank you for letting us share. It's really a home where we want to bring people in and love on them and just let them enjoy it. It was never meant to be just for us. So we're very grateful to be the stewards of the house at this time, and we hope that you've enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. So good. I feel at home here. I'll just stay a while.
Please, I'll make you some tea.
Oh,
Yep.
good. Okay, close this out, Mom.
Yes, like, subscribe, share this amazing tour with your friends, because you're not just going to get beautiful spaces, but you're going to get beautiful hearts and stories. And so we are excited to share this with you. Like, subscribe, share with your friends.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye.